Hey, today we're going to be covering how to use Apple Math Notes on iOS. So what we're going to do, we're going to be using an iPhone 15, which has obviously been upgraded to iOS 18, and we're going to be using a stylus here. Now the stylus is basically, in a sense, like a pencil. It's an active stylus, which means it has a battery in it so that when you touch the screen with it, it basically acts like your finger. It's just more precise and so forth. And I'll include a link down below to that. And it's just something I picked off Amazon that was $20 or something like that. So I bought two of them. It is pretty useful, but you may find a better one, which is fine. But anyway, so we'll be using that as well. So you can see how to do math notes while you basically draw the math note. So we'll do that too. All right, so let's get started on it. So right now I have the application up, and currently you can do things like, I don't know, 4 plus 4, and you've seen this one obviously. But to get to like math notes and other advanced features, you can tap on the bottom left icon, and if you tap on that, it'll open up a little menu here, and you have like basic, which we're in right now, scientific, which we're not going to cover, maybe in a later video, but not in this one, math notes, and also convert. Now, convert will do the conversion, say if you have an exchange rate from US dollars to euro and you want to know what it is, whatever it is you're trying to pay for. All right, so let's hop into math notes. Now, when you go into math notes, you're going to have a listing of the current notes that you've made. And right now I have two of them, but obviously I didn't really put any text at the top of the content. So right now, if I was trying to do a search, I'd have to really search for these, um, basically these expressions and so forth, which obviously wouldn't be the best idea. But anyway, so let's go ahead and create a new one. I'm gonna do that. So I tapped on the create a new note, and in here I'm just gonna add a title to it called math note. Well, it's probably not the best name, but it's a name. And then I'm going to go ahead and switch the heading, switch to a heading format, just so I can get the icons, get the text to be a little bigger. So I'm going to do that. And this is the quick way to do it. All right, so first up, let's do a little bit of math here using just typing from the phone. So I'm going to have to grab my phone here. So give me a second here. And let's go ahead and just say 4, like we did earlier, 4 plus 4. Now you can see that it immediately thinks, well, it immediately thinks we're doing an equation or an expression. So it sees the expression and it says, okay, now that says 4 plus 4 is equal to 8. I can accept it like right here and say, okay, great, that's what I wanted. But let's show you how you can continue going as it's calculating it out. So if I would say 4 and then plus and then 8 and then x is equal to 12, but then I could say, oh, let's add another number to it. Say add 12. Okay. So now you can see that it just kept adding it as I was continuing with the expression here. So if I wanted to, I could delete the 12 and put in another number, say a 10. So now it's 4 plus 8 plus 10. And you can see the answer there, which means, of course, you can go back and you can edit your calculation, whatever you're trying to do here. You can edit those, make changes. And that's all fine and great. So let's say if I said, okay, now let's just have fun, add one more number to it. And let's just make it a 1. And if you add the equal sign at the end of your expression, that basically says I am done. So, well, for this particular kind, because there's other kinds you can do. So basically, you could say whatever it is, equal, and then that's your answer. And we'll show you different ways of doing that. Okay, so right now we just have a basic note that it's just numbers. Now, what if you want to get a little bit fancy with this thing? When I say fancy, I mean like let's put in some what they call variables. Now, don't freak out; it's not hard. Now, switch back to the main listing of notes. So we're gonna go into the food note that I made earlier, just so it'd be a little quicker, so you don't have to wait around for me to type in everything because it could take a little bit. So let's go into that. Now we have a food. It's basically like a receipt at a restaurant. So let's pretend you went to one and you had a drink that was $2, a sandwich that was 4. The tax rate for the area that you're in or whatever happens to be 8%. So then you get the subtotals. And this is where the fun begins. You can say variable subtotals equal to the variable drink plus sandwich. So now I'm saying basically I'm adding the 4 and the 2 together and putting it in total. And then I'm calculating the tax, which is the subtotal times the tax rate. And then getting the total, which is the subtotal plus the tax itself. So this is kind of useful if you're trying to calculate things on your own when you're out and about, either at another state or even you could actually do it in other countries. You can put in their information too to do the conversion at the final end. Like say I had 1208 and I want to convert that. So anyway, so this is what you can do with variables. All right, so now we've done that. Let's go back to our other note that we were playing with, the math notes. And now let's add in something that is a drawing. Well, let's ask you more expression using the pencil here. I'm going to use my pencil here. And let's get going on that. So, all right. What you're going to do, you want to basically tap on the pen icon down below. But first, you have to turn on your pencil in order for it to work. Otherwise, it does nothing. Okay, so I tap on that. Now it pops up this little thing. And it's basically your tools that you can use to draw with. Now I'm going to keep it on the first one, but if you tap on it, you can come up, it'll pop up with some options. So you can like how thick a line do you want and so forth. I'm going to leave it as the one I have. And then what color you want, you can keep it white, which I'm just going to do for this. I will say that my drawing skills aren't that great on here yet. So pardon the weirdness of it, but you'll get what I'm going for. Okay, so let's do an expression. So I'm going to say 2 plus 2, and then power of 2, whoa, see what I mean? Equal, and there you go. So now you can write out an expression if once you get comfortable with these things on your phone. So you could say 2 plus 2 squared is 16 or whatever, and then you could do other things like you could say what is this, and you can see obviously the square root of 4 is 2, and then you can do other things too, like you can do what we call fractions. So I say 1/2 plus 2/3 is equal to what? And there you go. So this comes in handy, but for warned parents, this could be good and bad for your kids because they may, well, obviously cheat. So maybe we don't show this video to kids, but obviously they're going to find it. So anyway, sorry. And I have a kid too, so there you go. Anyway, so now we know how to put in math notes and using just regular numbers, variables, and then use those variables to bring up a final answer. And then we also know how now to draw out equations and so forth and expressions and get your answer. Now, the other thing you can do, say I tap done up here. I can tap on, say, this square root of 4 here. Say I tap on the 2. Now it's going to pop up, and now I can copy this and use it elsewhere. So if I said, hey, I want to copy just the expression of result, I can do that. And then I could put it into things like, let's say, other packages like numbers and pages and whatever else you're using. So you can copy it around. So just note that here too. Okay. Now another thing I want to show you is how to basically go over that conversion thing that was in the calculator, but we're going to do that here and not in the actual convert thing that you saw earlier when we were in basic mode on the calculator. We're going to do it right here. So I'm going to say $10, and I'll say in. Now I was kind of guessing what I was doing there because I played with it a number of times. Okay, so now I say I want $10 in euro, and there it is, 912. Now if I said, well, wait a minute, I want it in Canadian, but I don't know Canadians. Let's say I pretend I don't know Canadian CAD. So I'm going to say $10 in Canadian dollars. Now you can see it immediately, it now knows what I'm going to do. So I can say, okay, now here's the conversion for that. So you don't have to know all the symbols and so forth. You can literally write it out, and then it'll give you the answer like it does here. So, and I thought that was pretty cool. So if you're traveling abroad and so forth, if you're out and about trying to buy something, and you want to know if you have enough money for that, or you just want to know what it would really be in your dollars just for fun, you could type it in here and it'll give you that answer. So, and that's all I have for this part. And that's all I really want to cover. So basically, we covered the basics of it. Now you can do more advanced things like graphs and using using sine and cosine, and we can demonstrate that, but that'll take a little bit more time. Plus, with my drawing skills, it will take a lot longer. So we'll make this another video so you guys can see that. But for now, this shows you the basics of it. That's it.